I'm a poet at some point in my life. What is actually poetry?
I would say poetry is like a skillful weaving of words together to pass on a message, basically.
I understand poetry as clarity. Something is so clear in your mind or in your heart. I don't know exactly from where, such that when you say it in a very straightforward format, very direct, very few words, and you are satisfied.
The repetition of words, that's what makes poetry. The rhythmic part of it, that's what makes poetry.
I think one of the gifts that poets have is actually, that imagination, that you can put very specific ones to evoke an emotion in all of us.
Being able to now use the creativity given to us to pass on this message or even just express. Sometimes it's also like a mode of expression. You can be expressing your joy at somebody or your pleasure or your disappointment or even sometimes just to encourage.
Yeah. Poetry is an expression. It's a song. It's a motivation, it's an inspiration. Poetry is a gift. It's not about laziness. So we can also write books.
I'm happy to have Jane. We did this again last year. And so here we are again ministering to God's people through poetry. So a very specialized category or genre to writing. My name is Tony Omuhango. I'm leading the team at CLC Kenya at this particular time. And I'm so honored to have amazing poetry writers, or I call them poets, amazing poets. And today we'll be looking at journey through poetry in the Bible. But before we start, I would want to ask the authors to introduce themselves and also tell us about your book so that we can get to start to know each other. Let me start with Jane. You're right at the top of my screen. Let's start with Jane. Introduce yourself and also introduce the poetry book that you've done.
Thank you, Modoni. It's good to see all of you. I have written 2 anthologies. That's a collection of poems. The first one was Garment of Praise. And the one that was nominated is Beautiful Thoughts. I generally love writing poetry. It comes as an inspiration and a message from God. And what else, Modoni, do I have to say?
You can tell us what you do away from your writing, your family, okay, what you're passionate about, so that we get to know you.
Okay, so I'm a wife and I have 2 children. I'm basically involved in a couple of businesses from outside writing. I have a bookshop in Shags, where I let people read books and and inspire them to and encourage them to to have a reading caution. And well, I'm a mother of 2 teenagers, one a boy and a girl. One is heading to university in September, and the other one is has not yet finished high school. So, and I love writing. That is my passion. I write every day in the morning and any other time if I get time. And I'm happy to be here to learn from everyone and to know what I don't know. I call it relearning what I don't know about poetry writing. And what I can do even to encourage those people who have, because a couple of people have told me, I am in a group of people who write poetry. And one or 2 people have told me, I have so much, but I don't know how to put it in a book. So, so people write poetry, people love writing poetry. And but some have to be encouraged and to be shown how to put it in as a book, in order also to, to give people their gift and to, to spread their gift out there.
Awesome.
So that's where I am.
Yeah, that's really good. Now, if I heard you have a bookshop in Sharks, then I'm so excited. When I hear bookshop, I'm just so excited. I hope at one point God will give us an opportunity to come and visit. And maybe as poets, we can decide we come to your Sharks. I hope your Sharks is not in the UK.
I know.
I hope it's in Kenya. So
no, my Sharks is in Kikuyu. In Kikuyu. That's where I come.
In Kikuyu, this one we can go. We will come.
This one you can go. It's about 15, 20 minutes. 30 minutes.
Yes. So I think we should organize something and we just go and, strengthen and maybe do something on poetry. We will have that conversation at another time. So very exciting to hear that. Let me welcome Haggai. Haggai, if you can introduce yourself and you're upside down, or now you're okay. If you can introduce yourself and also tell us the book that you have written.
It is hard to after Jane, you can't top of a bookshop. I mean a book library, but I'll try. So my name is Haggai Imbiaka, and I've written one anthology of poems. This is the book, if you can see. It's called Pettles of Emotion, and I wrote it back in 2021 during the COVID time. It is composed of 65 poems, and it is looking at 3 topics which I was battling with, and that is God, love, and community. And the idea really is, these are just my thoughts and how I feel about those topics. And there are poems that I'd written, I think, close to 5 years since the beginning of when I started writing poetry to that time. I am married. God has blessed us with a firstborn. She's actually turning 6 months in 3 days. Apart from that, we are getting sleep finally. So apart from that, I'm a youth pastor at Nairobi Chapel, Karen. We are located at Hillcrest. Yes, I love writing. I also love history and reading and learning. Yes, I will say that. Yes.
Wow.
Is there anything that I've forgotten?
No, you're good. Good to hear that you're finally getting sleep. All the best in this season. We have a joke that these two shall pass. So you just have to go through all the seasons, and they are fun. Later, when you're older, you just look back and you miss some of those seasons. So enjoy, and congratulations to you and your wife. Yeah. All right. I wanted to make fun. You've said your poems are 65. I thought if you had done 66, then you'd have matched the books of the Bible. But I'm just making fun. They would have one poem for every book of the Bible. Awesome. Nice to get your introduction.
I'll take that as a challenge.
Okay, all right. They say 66 poems, one for each of the books of the Bible. Nice to hear. Yes, Haggai. You're good? Okay, Haggai is good. And good work with pastoring the youth at in Karen, Nairobi Chapel. We are honored to have you here. Let me invite Maria, and then we'll move on to the next phase. Maria.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Okay, I'm a consultant and trainer. I'm married and I'm a mother. I thank God for my children. Writing has always been something that I always wanted to do. And the poems in my book are poems which I wrote over several years. And when I met a publisher is when I was able to crystallize and have them published into this book, Fresh Springs of Poems. And they really celebrate the Christian faith, what it means to just put our faith in God, who is able to uplift us, strengthen us, and guide us in our Christian journeys. And also it has other poems that reflect on life's journey, and other poems which also reflect on work and business, just celebrating the different workers that we have, and also just looking at the aspect of relationships. So I really enjoy writing, and I really hope that through the poems that I've written, they'll be able to touch and impact people's lives in a special way. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much, Maria. Trainer, I didn't know that's something new I've learned. Trainer, so I'll reach out to you for something different. Good to hear your poems, Fresh Springs, God, work, business, relationship. Those I find to be very relevant topics because they touch on our day-to-day life. And so that makes the book, you know, I can take it and I can apply, I can read, I can apply, you know, right away. Awesome. I don't know whether Jane Wachira is back or we move forward. Jane Wangechi.
So my name is Jane Wangechi, the author of Beauty Under the Sky and other poems. Mm-hmm. So I love poetry. It comes to me naturally. And I enjoy a lot of nature work. So for me, I would say writing is just is one way that gives me therapy. Writing is therapeutic to me. Sometimes when I'm so down or idle or doing a lot of nothing, I just find myself writing. And again, I would say that my book is centered towards day-to-day life. It is touching on various aspects of life. It's talking about corruption, talking about the power of God, talking about the nature itself. Yeah, and that's it. So I am married, a mother of 3. My firstborns are twins. I usually say that loudly. And they are the people who make me grind this hard in life. So I'm grateful to be in this forum. And I would wish to learn more about poetry from my fellow poets. And I'm happy to meet you, Maria. It's nice meeting you a second time. So
nice meeting you.
So let's have a good discussion, and I believe everything will be great.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and even the baby is welcome to the conversation. We are so children friendly. I even stop everything to sort the child. So all of you are welcome, and we are happy to have you here.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Awesome. So today's topic, we are looking at journey through poetry in the Bible. And maybe the first question, because we are Christian writers, our inspiration comes from the Bible. Maybe to ask, as I start with Jane again, Jane Harel, Jane Wachira, I'll just call you Wangeci for now. So Jane Harel, if we can start with you, at what point did the Bible inspire you, or which section of the Bible inspires you as far as poetry is concerned?
Reading the book of Psalms really was such a big inspiration in my writing journey.
Yeah.
And of course, in the Bible, there are so many poems or written poetry, because sometimes we think that there are no poems in the Bible, but they're there. And actually, God is the master poetry or poet. So the book of Isaiah also, the book of Psalm, and some parts of Exodus, you know, the song of Moses, also the song of Miriam. All those poetry are poems written by, by actually people who have inspired us to write poetry. But of course, when I'm writing poetry, you find your own way also. You get inspiration. God gives you your own style of writing, because there are different types of styles. And then you go on from there. But the book of Psalms really, and Isaiah also, really inspired me.
Awesome, awesome. I'm thinking about poetry. I can see how Psalms can inspire. I didn't even think of Exodus, but yes, I can see that. And I think God goes all the way back so that we can be able to see that He started inspiring people from a long, long time ago. And so we should have confidence even as we utilize this calling that He's given us, or He has given us, to be able to minister to other people. You said something important, Jane. That there are different styles, and you found your style. So as I talk to your fellow poet, I'll come back to you so that you tell us a little bit about the styles and also what your style is from all the styles that are there. Thank you very much, Jane Harel. Let me move on to Haggai. What's your inspiration from the Bible? What sections, or when did you know that I'm inspired to see, or you can see poetry in the Bible?
So for me, I'm quite imaginative. So most of the poems that I compose from the Bible, they come from stories. So maybe like an example, I will pick a story of the woman at the well with Jesus, and I will imagine the scenario. I will imagine, what she was feeling. I will imagine the scenery. And what I'll try and portray in the poems is the feeling and paint the picture of it. So I've written poems from Genesis. In fact, the second poem in this anthology comes from Genesis 1:1. So I'll say if a story captures me in the Bible, and I feel connected with that story, I find myself actually just words coming and imagery coming and everything coming. So not really a particular place. Surprisingly, I don't think I've written a poem that has been inspired from Psalms, which is quite weird coming from me. Coming from a poet. Most of them are stories because I also love stories. Yes.
Awesome, awesome. The Bible says it's the same spirit, but different gifts. So we allow God to use all of us differently. And I think that diversity is what strengthens the body of Christ, makes life exciting. Because if all of us get inspired from Psalms, then we're going to produce the same thing. But with the different ways that the Spirit of God would use different poets, then we have diversity. Now, you've said your second poem is from Genesis. So I will also be asking the poets that you open your book for your favorite poem, and you're going to read for us even as we come to another section. Awesome. So be gearing up to read for us your favorite so that you can just get a peek of what to expect in your book. Maria?
Okay, I'm really inspired by the poems which are there in the Bible. If you look at the psalmist, he really is able to really bring out that aspect of poetry. And there's a verse which I found so powerful in my life, Psalms 121, 1-2, which says, I lift mine eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. So I draw a lot of inspiration from God's word, combining it with what happens in the world today. And through that, I weave stories that reflect how awesome our God is and how faithful and true he is in life's journey. I also just recognize the poetry which is reflected in Jobs, in Ecclesiastes, and it's so powerful. And I really just try to anchor what I write in my faith in God and the fact that he cares for us. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. I like that, that we can be able to draw inspiration even from the book of Job, Ecclesiastes, a very exciting way that, God did not put for us, one style. For some of us, we are prose people. For others, we just want the stories, like Esther. For the poets here, you read the Bible and you're drawn by the imagery, you're drawn by, the way the rhythm is going on in the wordings. And so that makes the Bible exciting. And so for even young people, you're thinking, it's boring to read the Bible. I know many people have read the Bible, Genesis, to Revelation, and you just find it's very exciting because it utilizes different ways, and because God wants to capture each and every one of us. So if you are struggling to read the Bible, just know that there are, poems, so many of them throughout the Bible. And also, if you have a creative mind like Haggai, you can be able to pick the stories and still see them from a poem perspective. Awesome. Wangeci?
Okay, for me, I get a lot of inspiration from the book of Ecclesiastes. It is the book that shows a lot of realities in life. A book that sometimes tells you things, and you really, when you read it, you take your time and think about it. Sometimes you get that inner feeling, that inner voice that tells you that there's something deeper than what the preacher was just writing. So I love that book a lot. I also get inspiration from Proverbs, and also the stories of the gospel. And lastly, the book of Joshua. It is a book that gives a lot of hope, a lot of courage. So for me, I would say that those are my major 4 books that have inspired my poetry. And then looking at my writing, not most of it is directly touching on the Bible, but some of the poems that touch on the Bible, there's an example of You Man on the Cross. It is the imagination of having Christ, that the time Christ was crucified for us, what kind of wishes would we have for him when he was right there on the cross, his hands stretched out, an entire picture of what kind of feeling he had during that time and what the people that were surrounding him had during that time. So I would say the Bible is has a wide range of inspirations.
Yeah.
And it's quite a good reference book. And actually, in my second upcoming book, there's a lot of it coming from the Bible. A lot of it. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, I like that. A lot of inspiration from now additional the Gospels, the book of Joshua. Awesome, nice to hear that, Wangeci. Let me go to Jane Harel. Please tell us about the different styles that you know of poetry writing, and what is your style?
Thank you, Muthoni. There are different types of styles in poetry, and there are many. There are quite a number. There are, I think, even more than 10, but mostly there are 3 that I use. I use narrative. Narrative is for telling your stories. You can tell a story from the Bible, or you can tell a story from your life experiences, and I love that. I love writing narrative poetry. And the other one is free verse. Free verse really does not conform to any type of style. So you're free to, you are free even to mix the styles in free verse, and you keep writing. The other one that I use is rhymed verse or rhymed style, where there are some words that rhyme and there are some words that are repeated, like they are repeated, like in I like repeating a full sentence or a word, because for me, that is the essence of poetry, as far as I'm concerned, repeating the words, and repeating a sentence maybe after a stanza or after one one verse. So those are the three main ones that I use.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much. So just hearing you that there's so many out there, and I like that now we even have the space and allowance for someone to be able to express themselves the way God has gifted them. And so today we learn narrative, 3 verse and rhymed ones. If you're out there and you're wondering how do you even start writing, you can start just right from there. And then you grow and you find your style. Thank you very much, Jane. Please be ready with your favorite poem, because you'll be reading for us in the next, after you finish this round, the next round, I would want to hear each of the poets read for us their favorite, and then we'll be able to enjoy. And then we tell people, please go and get the entire book so that you can get all the other, poems. Awesome. Let me get on to Haggai.
So for me, most of my poems are free verse. I love experimenting, and I find other form a little bit restrictive. So most of my poems are free verse, but I also love spoken word, and I've done spoken word before. So there's a lot of alliteration in my poems. You'll find out that most of my poems are meant to be read out loudly, and so there's that wordplay that litters my poetry. So I'll say free verse with a lot of alliteration.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much. I know the rain can be quite something, but we thank God because that's what we've been praying for. Awesome. Let's move on to Maria. What styles are there? What style do you use, or what style do you like or would want to use?
Okay, thank you. I mainly combine narrative with rhymed poetry. Those are the main styles that I use in my writing.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Maria. Wangeci?
For me, I use a lot of free verse, narratives, and rhyming. A lot of rhyming. I also like using a lot of repetition because it gives the poems some musical feel. So basically, that's what I do.
Awesome, awesome. So it looks like Jane Harel set for us the platform that the most common ones are narrative, free verse, and rhyme ones. And of course, Haggai has added one more, which is spoken word, and then there's a repetition for music feel or musical feel from Jane Wangechi. Awesome. So let's get to hear one poem. At least I've gone through your books. I know you don't have one that is 10 pages long. So about maybe a few minutes, 2-3 minutes. Haggai, you're laughing. You could say it's one poem, and then 15 minutes later, like I'm about to finish. So maybe we can start with Jane Harel. One poem that is your favorite. You can tell us the title, and then you can be able to read for us, and then people can get the book, and we'll be sharing where to get the book so that people can be able to purchase and be blessed.
Yeah, I'll read one poem from a book, Beautiful Thoughts. Beautiful Thoughts. It's called Free from the Chains. I was inspired by the slavery in Egypt, when the Jews or the Hebrews were enslaved in Egypt. So it is found in Exodus. The story is found in Exodus. It's actually a story in my own words. And I read, free from the chains, the people went to Egypt. They were enslaved. They were chained. Hard labor, their portion. Their cry could be heard from miles away. Their screams rendered the air. The pain of carrying heavy loads. They toppled over. They stumbled and fell because of the heavy load. Then in Assyria, the trouble complete, the burden of not having a country, the burden of being far from their homeland. The homesickness, the burden of being in a strange country. Those who rule them mock. Those who rule them blaspheme the name of the Lord. The people taken away for nothing. But the Lord says, awake, awake, for the dawn has come, a new day. You will know that I am the Lord. And they will return to the promised land, because the watchmen will lift up their voices. The watchmen will stand in the gap. They will again implore the Lord. They will again beseech the Lord. Let your people return to the promised land, the land you gave to their forefathers, and the people will be free from their chains. The people will be in their homeland, the land of promise.
Ooh, awesome. Has it come to an end?
Yes, I just wanted to read Isaiah 52:2. Shake off your dust, rise up, sit enthroned, O Jerusalem. Free yourself from the chains of your neck, O captive daughter of Zion.
I don't know whether in poetry reading, whether we clap or whether we do this or this is spoken word. This, okay, yay! Awesome, awesome. So that poem is in what page in Beautiful Thoughts?
It's in page 57, 58, and 59.
Okay. Awesome, awesome. Very nice. Actually, if I didn't know you wrote it, I could actually think it's from the Bible. It's so well done, and we can get the message. Just being able to be inspired by God to do that. So God bless you so much, Jane. You'll be telling us as we come to a close, as doing your closing remarks for everybody, where people can be able to get the book from. Awesome. Let's get to Haggai.
So I've been battling choose which poem to read. So I'll just go with the second poem in this anthology, and it's titled Genesis 1:1. So you light the world with your words. The sun shines with active verbs. The earth is full of consonants from your mouth. The sea whispers in silent adjectives. All the herbs and the wild beast exist in your pronouns. You plant the solar positions with prepositions. The whole universe is a sketchpad of your script. Spark the sun with a click of your tongue. Man is only dust. Your words churning his heart. How can I deny your words? Everything is filled with it. Where can I run from you, Lord? The end.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much. Really, really amazing stuff. So that is in what page in your book?
Page number 10.
Okay, so page 10. Awesome. Thank you very much, Haggai. Maria, I can see you're ready and, going for it. Pick for us one poem and read for us, and then you tell us which page it is on.
Okay, I'd like to share a poem entitled God's Grace. God's grace, beautiful and powerful, it radiates from on high. It encircles and embraces. God's grace for each new day, for each new moment, for each new season. God's grace, so deep, so dear, so near. God's grace, freely given to all who trust him, treasured blessings from the Lord. And this poem is found on page 43 of my book.
Awesome. Woo! Very nice, very nice. Now that you're saying about rhyming, I remember so near, so dear. So I mean, that's something that you can, remains in your mind. You're just like, yeah, I know God's grace is near, it's dear. So thank you very much, Maria. Wangeci, I don't know whether you have your book with you. If not, we can give it a go next time. Wangeci?
I will recite a poem. I'll not let that chance pass me.
Okay.
So my poem is entitled Grind On, and I'll read. Keep working in the midnight shift. Keep working in the midnight shift. Don't be lied to by the drift. That day is the only shift. Harvest is after a long day drill. Day of planning, sowing, weeding, pruning. After sweating, bumper rip, like an ant in a long day trip. Come easy, come, easy go. Amass, steal, grab, cheat, and chip. Low, left, right, center, and between. Jail, fines, penalties rob you. Keep working in the midnight shift. Keep working in the midnight shift. Gather what you can in the age. Little by little, fill your vessel. Stand tall and smile at dawn. Keep working in the midnight shift. So that poem is on page 16 of my book. I love that. I'm a lover of literature, so that's it.
Awesome. Very well done. I like that. You know, we are told when you become an author, your book becomes your business card. So there's no way you will not have it somewhere. So you just have to, chamoy it anytime an opportunity arises. So well done again, even if you're not at home or in the office at your desk. Very well done for giving us a peek into your book. Awesome. Let's hear where people can be able to get your books. I'll start with Jane, then Haggai, Maria, and then we close with Jane. And then we are going to come to a close and pray that the Lord is going to give us another opportunity to do this. And Jane, tell us where your book is found, and then you can also combine that with a closing remark.
Okay.
Sorry. Let me start with Jane Harel, and then I'm going to finish with Wangeci.
Okay, my books can be found in CLC. I think you have a few people who sell my books, and I have always wondered if you have are people buying or what. Anyway, that is the story of another day. I think there is CLC, there is Nuria, and who else? Yeah, and then I also can sell my books directly to my customers, and also they can be found in my website, June Etiquette. That's my website, and then I have 2 online books from Books for My Soul. So you can get a copy at a cheaper price because it's an online book from Books for My Soul.
Awesome.
It was very nice to be here. And I am so happy that even I had the strength to come. As you all know that I lost my dad this month. And the other devastating thing is that today we buried a friend of my son, a very young person at 19. So today was the funeral. But I believe that when we have challenges, we have to know and to listen very carefully what the Lord is saying. And so for me, challenges come so that we may be strengthened in the Lord. And so it is all well. And I'm so happy to say, today I said, I'm not going to miss this today. And I am glad to be here. Thank you, Modoni and CLC. Awesome. And everyone else. Yes.
Awesome. God's strength multiplied to you and your family and your sons, family, friends, family as well. Of course, this season we've kept you in prayers, even on our side, and we are so honored that you could make it. I wasn't very sure, just like, we can't push it, but we are so honored that you would make it, and we look forward to more interactions. As you said, that may God's strength be manifested even through the challenging seasons of life, and then you come out victorious, and we are given an opportunity to be able to live another day and preach the gospel like we are doing right now. So thank you very much, Jane Harel.
Welcome.
Awesome. Haggai.
So you can get my books at CLC, Nuria, and also the Kindle version at Amazon. And also you can contact me and I can get the book to you directly. My parting shot, probably, I'm really grateful to CLC for what you're doing, how you are helping us to network, to learn how to promote our books and how to grow in our craft. So I'm really grateful to you, and I think it has been a pleasure meeting the rest of poets. I really hope that next time there will be gender balanced. My wife has made it quite obvious to me right now. Not done to me. To all the men who are joining us via this broadcast, just to let you know that poetry is not, a gendered genre. We can all write prose and we can all share in this. So if God has given you that gift, please do not be afraid to use it, and do not be afraid to take the next step. The good thing is that the CLC, they've helped me with the printing and so many processing. So if you have your poems ready, just contact Jackie. She'll set you out. We usually call her deep state. She'll set you out. But anyway, may God bless you all and keep you in good peace.
Awesome. I mean, we keep making this call to men that come and just write. I can tell you the two poets who are not here, they are ladies. So you have a while this year, but we hope that in the coming years, we will have more men. So we're very proud of you. You're the first man in the poets category, and we call forth other men who are called to write in this genre to be able to write. Thank you very much, Haggai. Let me welcome Maria.
Okay, thank you. Firstly, I'd just like to convey my condolences to Jane. And then my books are available at CLC, Nuria, and then the ebook version is available on Amazon Kindle and on Books for My Soul. And then as a parting shot, I just want to encourage other writers out there, so long as you have a story to tell, a poem to write, just start the process, and eventually you'll be able to put together a book. And I also thank CLC for the support they continue to give authors to encourage them and to enable them to get their books out there. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Maria. We look forward to an awesome time together. We say that when we come together, shockingly, even when we started and you're asking, someone, reputable someone in their, industry, and like, how many books have you read by African Christian authors? Like, none, but for us to come together and say, you know what? In this call, we have 4 poets. Their books are out there. You can get them in different bookshops and different e-commerce platforms. You can get it as ebooks on Books for My Soul on Amazon. And to say that we are writing and we've done poetry, and it's good poetry. You've heard the samples that we've been able to experience here. And so as we create the awareness, we are calling forth our continent, Africa. We are calling other countries globally, come and consume this content. This is good poetry. You can be able to enjoy from African Christian authors. So thank you very much, Maria. Let me finish with Wangeci.
Hi, my books are available from CLC, Nuria Kenya, Raffle Books, Jumia, and Amazon. And as a parting shot, I would like to encourage everyone out there, anyone who has an idea in their mind and they know that they can write something down, just write. Just write. One day, one time, it will be a book. My story is long. I started writing way back in 2009, and this is the book that I have produced. So if I can do it, and I did it for 10 years, you still can do it, and someone out there can still do it. So don't lose hope, don't give up. So I would also like to recommend to the ACABA team that the next time we have the awards, you can kindly categorize the poets alone without including the other prose writers together. Sometimes we get misplaced.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sometimes we get misplaced. So it's good to know who is doing well in the poetry category. And that will be honorable to us. It will be an honor. So thank you so much for having us. And we appreciate the opportunities that you are creating for us. Thank you so much. And I wish all of us a good night.
Awesome. Wangeci and Maria, you're putting pressure on us in public. So you say, yeah, we say it. We will make the recommendation and then we will explain. But I get your point that it's very easy because poetry is, it's not a very common genre. It's very possible for it to get lost in the arts and culture. And so we will make that consideration. Maria is very happy.
Yes, thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. We come to a close. We would want to invite as many people as are called into this genre who want to minister to other people, minister the gospel of Jesus Christ to other people through poetry. Here is a platform. I know Jane Harel runs a program, and we've seen more of that, even as we come together, even as we create awareness for this genre, and we pray that as many people will be ministered to. And if you're out there, you'd want to write or you've been writing, here, big sisters and one big brother who can be able to hold your hand through the process. And also, nothing beats being in a community of people of like mind. And so feel free to reach out to Jacqueline. As Haggai said, we call her Deep State of ACABA. Reach out to Jacqueline and she'll be able to connect you to either CLC Kenya or Jane Harel, who is running a program for poets, Christian poets, and such a journey. The amazing thing is that we want to get to the end of life and we can be able to say that we did everything that God asked us to do. Some of it we might not see the benefit in this life, but the truth is, as long as we've done our part, that is what counts. Then God will pick that work and will be able to use it whichever way He desires. Awesome. Jane, you are unmuted. I don't know whether you have something to add. Oh, you're okay. Jane is okay.
Not really, but I was unmuted. But I can add that I run this program on Facebook, Christian Poets Network. And you are all welcome to put in your poems there. We share poems, and we are organizing, one of the days we are organizing for an open mic. An open, where we can read our poetry and we can, invite as many people as we can and many poets as we can. And more, I like to specify that it's Christian because there are all sorts of poetry. There's, people who write love stories, and many others. So I like just concentrating on Christian poetry.
Awesome.
Thank
it's
you.
Good to clarify, even as we have to keep on saying, if you hear there's something, I think even it's my terminology, it's African Christian authorship, because there is many other authorships. So we have to be clear that this is the space we are called to. So Jane Harel runs the program. It's for Christian poets, and join on Facebook. And when you have the open mic, we'll be happy as the poets here, as CLC Kenya ACABA, to come and join and to amplify that message that God has given all of you in your books.